I'm a search and rescue ranger. After finding that hiker, I quit the mountains forever. The call came through dispatch at 6:47 a.m. Missing hiker, male, 28 years old. Name Oliver Brennan, last seen on the Cascade Ridge Trail 2 days ago. Family reported him overdue. Vehicle still parked at trailhead, standard search protocol. I grabbed my gear and headed out. Been doing this job for 11 years. Found dozens of lost hikers. Most were dehydrated and embarrassed. Some had twisted ankles or minor injuries. A few were hypothermic. Only found 2 dead in all that time. Natural causes both times. Heart attack and a fall. This was supposed to be routine. I'd done this 100 times before. Drive to trailhead. Assess the situation. Follow the most logical route. Call out. Look for tracks. Find them before nightfall. Bring them home safe. That's the job. That's what I signed up for. That's what I was good at. I radioed my location to dispatch. Told them I was starting the search. Weather was clear. Temperature in the mid-50s. Good visibility. Oliver Brennan was an experienced hiker according to his family. Had proper gear, knew the trails, made it stranger that he'd been gone for 2 days without contact. His phone was going straight to voicemail. No pings on cell towers, dead battery or no signal, both common in the mountains. I wasn't worried yet. Just focused. The Cascade Ridge Trail was 12 miles round trip, moderate difficulty, steep in sections but well-maintained, popular with day hikers and backpackers. Oliver's car was a silver Nissan sedan, locked, nothing unusual visible inside. I checked the trailhead log. His signature from 2 days ago, 7:15 a.m. solo hike. Planned return the same day. But he never came back. I started up the trail, moved at a steady pace, called his name every few minutes, listened for responses, looked for broken branches, disturbed ground, anything that might indicate he'd gone off trail. First 3 miles were empty, no signs, no tracks that stood out. The trail was heavily used, dozens of footprints overlapping, impossible to isolate his specifically. Mile 4 I found his water bottle, lying in the middle of the trail. I picked it up. Still had water in it, about half full. Strange, nobody abandons a water bottle with water still in it. Not voluntarily. I radioed it in, continued forward, heart rate increasing slightly. This was becoming less routine. Mile 5 the trail forked. Left path led to the ridge overlook. Right path descended into a valley, then looped back. Both were marked. Both were maintained. I checked for signs. Found boot prints on the right path. Recent. Could be his. Could be anyone's. I took the right path. Valley trail descended sharply. Dense tree cover. Thick undergrowth. Temperature dropped 10 degrees in the shade. I called Oliver's name. Voice echoing off rock faces. No response. Kept moving. Quarter mile down, I found his backpack. Thrown off the side of the trail into bushes. Not dropped. Thrown. I climbed down to it. Examined it carefully. Black North Face pack. Name tag said Oliver Brennan. Confirmed. Inside was typical hiking gear. Extra clothes, first aid kit, protein bars, flashlight. Everything still there. Nothing taken. But the pack itself was torn. Long gash in the side. Not from snagging on a branch. Too clean, too deliberate. Cut with a knife, maybe. I took photos, documented everything. Called it in to dispatch. Something was very wrong. Hikers don't cut their own packs. Don't throw them into bushes. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't someone getting lost and panicking. This was something else. I continued down the trail. More alert now. Hand on my radio, scanning the tree line, looking for movement. Another quarter mile and I heard it. Weak voice calling from off trail. Help. Please, someone help me. I ran toward the sound. Crashed through undergrowth. Found him 30 yards off the trail. Oliver Brennan, lying against a tree, covered in blood. Holding his side, face pale, breathing shallow. He'd been shot. I dropped to my knees beside him, applied pressure to the wound, stomach area, right side. Blood everywhere, soaked through his shirt, pooling on the ground. He was conscious but fading, eyes unfocused. I'm Derek Vaughn, search and rescue. I've got you. You're going to be okay. He shook his head weakly. They shot me. They'll come back. They'll kill us both. I radioed for emergency medical evacuation, gave my coordinates, told them gunshot wound, critical condition, need immediate airlift, dispatch confirmed. Helicopter was 20 minutes out. I pressed gauze from my first aid kit against the wound, tried to slow the bleeding. Who shot you? What happened? Oliver grabbed my arm, grip surprisingly strong for someone losing this much blood. Justin Merrick. I saw them kill him 3 days ago, higher up the mountain. I was hiking, heard gunshots, saw them dump his body off the cliff. They saw me. I ran. They chased me. Shot me yesterday. I've been hiding, trying to get out. Can't walk anymore. Please. You have to believe me. They'll cover it up. They'll say I'm crazy. But I saw it. I saw them murder him. I kept pressure on the wound. Mind racing. Who are they? Who killed Justin Merrick? Oliver coughed. Blood on his lips. Sheriff Wade Keller, his deputy Travis Lennox, and Douglas Pritchard, town councilman. I saw their faces. They were arguing with Justin. Then Keller shot him 3 times, chest. They dumped him off the north face. Must be a 1,000-foot drop. Then they saw me. Started shooting. I ran. Got away, but they hit me yesterday. I've been bleeding, hiding. Knew they'd be looking. Knew they'd kill me if they found me first. This was insane. Sheriff Keller? I knew Wade Keller. We worked together on searches, coordinated rescues. He'd been sheriff for 15 years, respected, connected. Douglas Pritchard was on the town council, major landowner, wealthy family. This couldn't be true. But Oliver was shot. That was real. The terror in his eyes was real. Why would they kill Justin Merrick? Oliver coughed again, weaker this time. Land deal. Justin found out Pritchard was buying up properties using shell companies. Fraud, embezzlement, public funds. Was going to expose him. Justin was a journalist, was investigating, had evidence. They killed him for it. The helicopter sound grew louder, coming in fast. I stayed with Oliver, kept talking to him, kept him conscious. Help is almost here. Just hold on. We'll get you out. Get you to a hospital. You'll be safe. He shook his head. Won't be safe. Keller controls everything. Hospital, police. He'll finish this. You have to get the evidence. Justin's camera. He recorded everything. Meeting with Pritchard. Confrontation. Everything. Camera is in his tent. Northridge campsite. Site 14. Get it before they do. Please. Only way to prove what happened. Only way to stop them. The helicopter appeared overhead. Circled. Found a clearing 50 yards away. Landed. Paramedics jumped out. Ran toward us with a stretcher and medical gear. I waved them over. They took over. Started IV. Applied proper trauma dressings. Stabilized Oliver for transport. One of them looked at me. Gunshot wound? You report this to police? I nodded. Dispatch is contacting Sheriff's Department now. Oliver grabbed my wrist, pulled me close, whispered, Don't trust them. Don't tell Keller anything. Get the camera. Please. Then he passed out. Paramedics loaded him onto the stretcher, carried him to the helicopter. I followed. They lifted off within 3 minutes, headed toward St. Catherine's Hospital, 40 miles away. I stood in the clearing, covered in Oliver's blood, mind spinning. I hiked back to the trail, tried to process what Oliver had told me. Sheriff Keller murdering someone? Seemed impossible. But Oliver had been shot. That was undeniable. And his story was too detailed. Too specific to be delusion or panic. He'd given me a name. Justin Merrick. A location. Northridge campsite. Site 14. A camera with evidence. If he was lying or confused, he couldn't have been that precise. I reached the trailhead 2 hours later. Found 3 Sheriff's Department vehicles waiting. Sheriff Wade Keller stood by his SUV, arms crossed, expression unreadable. He was 52, built solid, former military, crew cut going gray. He approached as I emerged from the trail. Derek, heard you found him. Oliver Brennan. How is he? I kept my expression neutral. Critical. Gunshot wound to the abdomen. Airlifted to St. Catherine's. Touch and go. Keller's jaw tightened. Gunshot? What happened out there? I shrugged. Don't know. Found him like that. He was barely conscious. Couldn't tell me anything coherent. The lie came easily. Oliver's warning echoing in my head. Don't trust them. Keller studied me for a long moment. Did he say anything? Anything at all? I shook my head. Just that he'd been, shot. Nothing else. He passed out before I could ask questions. Deputy Travis Lennox walked over. Mid-30s, tall, mean eyes, always had an edge to him. Never liked him. He looked at my blood-covered hands and shirt. That's a lot of blood. I met his gaze. Gunshot wounds bleed. I was applying pressure until paramedics arrived. Standard first aid. Lennox glanced at Keller. Something passed between them. Unspoken communication made my skin crawl. Keller cleared his throat. We'll need your full statement. Everything you saw, everything he said. This is a shooting investigation now. Attempted murder, most likely. We need to find who did this. I nodded. Of course. I'll come by the station tomorrow. Need to clean up first. File my report with the Park Service. Keller stepped closer. Actually, we need your statement now. While it's fresh, memory fades, details get lost. Let's head to the station. Won't take long. It wasn't a request. It was an order. I felt trapped, but couldn't refuse without raising suspicion. Okay, let me grab my gear. I went to my truck, loaded my pack, mind racing. I needed to get to that campsite. Get Justin's camera before Keller did. But I couldn't do it now, not with him watching. I'd have to play along, give my statement, then find a way back up the mountain tonight. The sheriff's station was small. Brick building on Main Street. 5 deputies total for the whole county. I'd been there dozens of times. Always felt safe before. Now it felt like a trap. Keller led me to an interview room. Small, no windows, table and 3 chairs, recording equipment on the wall. Sit down, Derek. Want some coffee? I sat. I'm fine. Keller sat across from me. Lennox stood by the door, arms crossed, blocking the exit. Keller pulled out a notepad. Let's start from the beginning. What time did you get the call about Oliver Brennan? I recounted the morning, kept it factual, described finding the water bottle, the backpack, following the sound to Oliver's location, the gunshot wound, calling for medical evacuation. Keller took notes, asked clarifying questions. Where exactly was the backpack? How far off trail was Oliver? What was his condition? I answered everything, stuck to observable facts. Didn't mention anything Oliver had said about Justin Merrick, about the murder, about the camera. Keller leaned back. And he didn't say anything about who shot him? Didn't describe the shooter? Nothing? I shook my head. He was going in and out of consciousness, loss of blood, shock. He said he'd been shot, but nothing beyond that. I was focused on keeping him alive. Lennox spoke from the doorway. Seems strange. 2 days alone, shot, scared. You'd think he'd want to tell someone what happened. Who did it? Why? I turned to look at him. He could barely talk, could barely breathe, not exactly in a condition for detailed explanations. Lennox pushed off the wall, walked closer. But he said something, even something small. People always do. Even dying people. Especially dying people. They want someone to know, want justice. So what did he actually say, Derek? The room felt smaller, hotter. I could feel them both watching me, analyzing every micro-expression, every hesitation. I kept my voice steady. He said they shot him. That's the word he used. They, plural. So probably more than one person. That's all I got before he lost consciousness. It was a partial truth, enough to satisfy them without revealing what I actually knew. Keller wrote it down. They, okay, that's something. We'll work with that. Could be hunters, illegal hunting in the area, could have mistaken him for game, panicked when they realized, ran off. The explanation was too quick, too convenient. He'd already constructed a narrative, a cover story. Keller closed his notepad. Thanks, Derek. That's helpful. We'll investigate. Check for any reports of illegal hunting. Interview people in the area. Standard procedure. I stood up. Can I go now? Keller stood too. Sure. But Derek, one more thing. Stay available. We might need follow-up questions. And do me a favor. Don't talk to media about this. Don't speculate. Let us handle the investigation properly. Last thing we need is panic or misinformation spreading. I nodded. Understood. I walked past Lennox, could feel his eyes on my back. Left the station, got in my truck, drove toward home, checked my mirrors constantly, no one following. Got home. Small cabin on the edge of town, isolated, surrounded by forest, exactly how I liked it, normally. Tonight it felt exposed. I showered, changed clothes, made coffee, sat at my kitchen table, thought through everything. Oliver had said Justin Merrick was killed 3 days ago. Dumped off the north face. That meant his body was at the bottom of a cliff somewhere. Probably wouldn't be found for weeks, if at all. Wilderness was vast, remote, perfect for hiding a murder. But Justin had evidence. Camera with recordings, in his tent. North Ridge campsite. Site 14. If I could find that camera, I could prove Oliver was telling the truth. Could expose Keller and Pritchard. Could get justice for Justin. But I'd have to go alone. Couldn't involve other rangers. Couldn't risk Keller finding out. Had to be tonight. I packed light, flashlight, GPS, camera, water, protein bars, knife, my personal firearm, Glock 19, concealed carry permit. Never carried it on searches before. Always figured mountains were safer than cities. Tonight I wasn't sure anymore. I waited until 10 p.m. Full darkness, left my truck at home, took my mountain bike instead. Quieter, less visible. I could access the North Ridge Trail from a service road, avoid the main trailhead, avoid potential surveillance. I rode hard. 45 minutes to the trailhead, hid my bike in the trees, started hiking, used my flashlight sparingly. Didn't want to be seen. Trail was different at night. Every sound amplified, every shadow suspicious. I moved quickly. Reached the North Ridge campsite at midnight. There were 20 sites total, spread across 2 miles. Site 14 was toward the end. Isolated. Good for privacy, bad for witnesses. I approached carefully. Tent was still there. Small 2-person tent. Green. High quality. I listened. No sounds, no movement. I unzipped the entrance, shined my flashlight inside. Empty, sleeping bag laid out. Backpack in the corner. I searched the backpack, found clothes, food, water filter. At the bottom I found it. Digital camera. Expensive. Professional grade. I turned it on. Battery at 18%. I scrolled through the photos and videos, found what Oliver described. The first video was dated 4 days ago. Justin, standing on a ridge, talking to the camera, recording his investigation. This is day 6 of my investigation into Douglas Pritchard's land acquisitions. I've confirmed he's used 12 shell companies to purchase 43 properties around Cedar Falls over the past 18 months. Total value, approximately $6 million. Money traced back to the Municipal Infrastructure Fund. Public money, embezzled through fraudulent construction contracts. Tomorrow I'm meeting with a source who claims to have direct evidence. Documents showing Pritchard's signature authorizing transfers. If I can confirm this, I'll have everything I need to publish. This story ends his career. Probably sends him to prison. The video ended. Next video was from 3 days ago. Different location, higher elevation, rocky terrain. The video was shaky. Justin hiding behind a boulder. Camera aimed at 3 men 50 yards away. I recognized them immediately. Sheriff Wade Keller, Deputy Travis Lennox, Douglas Pritchard. They were arguing. Audio was faint but audible. Pritchard was yelling. "You told me this was handled. You said he didn't have anything concrete." Keller's voice calm but cold. "He's got documents, photographs, bank records. He's going to publish tomorrow. We're out of options." Pritchard, pacing. "Then stop him. Permanently. I'm not going to prison. I'll take you both down with me if this gets out." The video continued. Keller looked at Lennox, nodded. Lennox pulled his service weapon, walked toward where Justin must have been hiding before. Shouted, "Justin Merrick, come out. We know you're here. Your car's at the trailhead. Let's talk about this." Long pause. Then Justin's voice from behind the camera. Shaky. Scared. "I'm recording this. Everything you just said. It's already uploaded to cloud storage. You touch me and everyone sees it." Lie, probably. Desperate attempt to protect himself. Keller laughed. "No, it's not. No cell service up here. No internet. No cloud. You've got nothing but that camera. Hand it over and we can work something out. Keep you safe. Witness protection, maybe." Justin, breathing hard. "I don't believe you. I'm leaving. Don't follow me." Sound of movement. Justin running, camera bouncing, shaky footage of rocks and trees, then 3 gunshots. Loud, sharp. Justin fell. Camera hit the ground. Angle showed Justin lying on his back, blood spreading across his chest. Keller walking over, standing above him, looking down. "Shouldn't have stuck your nose in other people's business." Pritchard's voice in background. "Is he dead?" Keller checking for pulse. "Not yet. We'll be in a minute." Lennox appeared in frame. "We need to move him, make it look like an accident." They grabbed Justin's arms and legs, dragged him toward the cliff edge, video still recording from where the camera had fallen. partially obscured by grass but audio clear. Sounds of effort, grunting, then a thud, body going over the edge. Silence. Pritchard's voice. What about his car? Keller. We'll move it tonight. Make it look like he drove somewhere else. Never came to Cedar Falls. Camera and phone will destroy. Tent and gear will scatter. Make it look like he abandoned camp. Ran into trouble somewhere. Happens all the time in the mountains. Lennox. What if someone saw him in town? Keller. We'll handle it. Say we never saw him. No record he was ever here. Simple. Then footsteps approaching the camera. Lennox's boots in frame. He bent down, reaching for it. Video cut to black. Must have turned it off or covered the lens, but he hadn't deleted the files. Either didn't know how or didn't think about it. The camera had been recording everything, every word, every action. Proof of premeditated murder, conspiracy, abuse of power. Everything Oliver had said was true. I had the evidence. Now I needed to get it to someone who could do something about it. Someone outside Keller's control. I copied all the video files to my phone as backup, put the camera in my backpack, exited the tent, started hiking back toward the trail, made it maybe 50 yards before I heard voices. Coming up the trail, multiple people, flashlights. I ducked behind trees, watched. 3 figures emerged, Keller, Lennox, and another deputy I recognized. Nick Carver, younger, guy. Been on the force 2 years. I'd worked with him before. Seemed decent. They were heading straight for Site 14. Keller's voice carried in the night air. Camera has to be here. Justin wouldn't have left without it. Check everything, every pocket, every compartment. We find it tonight. They reached the tent. Went inside. Sounds of searching. Ripping fabric, breaking poles, desperation. I moved quietly, deeper into forest, away from the trail. Had to circle around, get past them without being seen. I moved slowly, each step careful, avoided dry branches, watched my footing, made it 100 yards when I stepped on loose rocks. Small avalanche of stones, noise cutting through the quiet. Flashlight beams swung toward me. There, someone's there. Keller's voice, command voice. Stop, Sheriff's Department, identify yourself. I ran, crashed through undergrowth, no longer caring about noise, just speed. Flashlights behind me, shouting. They were chasing. I knew these. Mountains. Had worked them for 11 years, every trail, every ridge, every shortcut. But they knew them too, and there were 3 of them. I ran hard, heart pounding, lungs burning, descended steep terrain, used trees for handholds, heard them behind me, closer than I wanted. Derek Vaughn, stop running, we just want to talk. Keller's voice, calm, reasonable, terrifying. I kept running, hit the main trail, turned north, away from the trailhead, deeper into wilderness. Bad strategy long term, no way out that direction, but I needed distance, needed time to think. Gunshot, loud crack, bullet hitting a tree next to me, bark exploding. They were shooting, actually shooting at me. I dove off the trail, rolled down an embankment, hit the bottom hard, pain in my shoulder, probably dislocated. I got up, kept moving, heard them descending behind me. More gunshots, one hit close, dirt kicking up near my feet. I reached a creek, ran along it. Water would hide tracks, make it harder to follow. 50 yards downstream, I found a culvert. Drainage pipe under an old Forest Service road, barely big enough to crawl through. I went in, wedged myself deep inside the pipe. 20 feet in, total darkness. Water trickling around me. Cold. I controlled my breathing, tried to stay silent. Listened. Footsteps above, on the road, multiple people. Lost him, can't see tracks. Lennox's voice, frustrated. He's close, can't have gone far. Keller, still calm. Nick, check downstream. Travis, check upstream. I'll search the roadway, he's on foot. Injured maybe. We'll find him. Footsteps splitting up. I waited. 5 minutes. 10. Footsteps returned, converged above me. Nothing. He's gone. Nick's voice. Younger, uncertain. We need to call this in. Report a suspicious person in the mountains. Get more units out here. Keller. No, we don't report anything. Derek was at the campsite for a reason. He knows something. Found something. We need to contain this before it spreads. Pause. Nick, you understand what's at stake here. Derek's got evidence that could destroy all of us. We need to find him, tonight, before he gets to anyone else. Nick, hesitant. What evidence? What's going on, Wade? Another pause. Longer. Justin Merrick didn't leave town. He's dead. We handled it. Had to. He was going to ruin everything, destroy the department, destroy the town. We made a hard choice. Protected our community. Derek found out somehow. If he talks, we all go down. You included. Nick's voice cracked. You killed someone? Are you insane? Lennox, sharp, threatening. Keep your voice down, and yes, we did what needed to be done. You're part of this now. You're here. You're looking for him. That makes you complicit. You talk, and you go down with us. So you need to decide. Are you with us or against us? Long silence. I held my breath. Waited for Nick's response. Finally. Quiet. Defeated. What do you need me to do? Keller. Good man. We search until dawn. He can't hide forever. When we find him, we resolve this. Quietly. Make it look like an accident. Happens all the time in the mountains. Tragic. But final. They moved off, continuing the search. I stayed in the culvert another hour, making sure they were gone. Finally crawled out, soaked, shivering, shoulder screaming with pain, but alive. I hiked through the night, avoided trails, stuck to dense forest, made it to the service road where I'd left my bike. It was still there. Miracle. I rode home. Took 2 hours, legs like rubber, nearly collapsed twice. Reached my cabin at 5 a.m., locked every door, every window, pulled the curtains. Sat in my kitchen with my gun on the table, the camera next to it, evidence of murder, conspiracy, corruption, everything I needed to bring Keller down. But who could I trust? Who could I go to? I couldn't go to local police. Keller controlled them. Couldn't go to the mayor. Pritchard had connections there. Couldn't go to anyone in Cedar Falls. This went too deep. Too many. People involved or compromised. I needed federal authorities, FBI, U.S. Marshals, someone outside the local system. I grabbed my laptop, searched for FBI field office locations. Nearest one was Spokane, 3 hours away. I could drive there, walk in, hand them the camera, tell them everything, let them handle it. But first, I needed insurance. If something happened to me, the evidence had to survive. I uploaded all the videos to 3 separate cloud storage accounts, sent encrypted links to my brother in Seattle, told him if he didn't hear from me in 24 hours to send them to every news outlet in the state. Then I packed, grabbed essentials, cash, documents, the camera, my gun, loaded everything in my truck. It was 6 a.m. I'd drive to Spokane, be there by 9. FBI office would be open. I could end this today. I pulled out of my driveway, made it half a mile before I saw the roadblock. 2 sheriff's vehicles, blocking both lanes, Keller standing in the middle, arms crossed, waiting. I stopped, 50 feet away. He walked toward my truck. Lennox and another deputy flanked him, hands on weapons. I rolled down my window, tried to look calm. Morning, Wade, what's going on? Keller leaned against my door. Morning, Derek. Early start today? I nodded. Heading to Spokane, personal business. He smiled. No warmth. That's a long drive. Mind if I ask what kind of personal business? I shrugged. Family stuff. My brother lives there. Haven't seen him in a while. Keller studied me. That's nice. Family's important. But I'm going to need you to step out of the vehicle. My heart rate spiked. Why? What's this about? He opened my door. Just a routine check. We've had reports of a suspicious person in the mountains last night. Someone trespassing at a campsite. That wasn't you, was it, Derek? I didn't move. I was home last night. All night. Keller's smile widened. That's strange, because I could swear I saw someone who looked just like you running through the woods. Firing at shadows. Must have been mistaken, though. He reached in, grabbed my arm. Step out, now. I had seconds to decide. Comply and get arrested. Or run. Both options bad. I made a choice. Grabbed my backpack. Opened the passenger door. Rolled out. Hit the ground running. Behind me shouting, Stop! Derek, stop! I didn't stop. Ran toward the tree line. 30 yards, 20. Gunshots. Multiple. Bullets hitting dirt around me. I dove into the forest. Kept running. I ran until my lungs screamed. Until my legs gave out. Collapsed behind a fallen log. Listened for pursuit. Heard nothing. They weren't following. Not immediately. Probably regrouping. Calling for backup. Setting up a perimeter. I was trapped. Couldn't go home. Couldn't drive anywhere. They controlled the roads, controlled the town. I had the evidence, but no way to get it out. No way to reach anyone who could help. I checked my phone. No signal. Deep in the valley. Too far from any towers. I was alone. Hunted. But I still had the camera. Still had the proof. I just needed to survive long enough to use it. I moved carefully. Stayed off trails. Headed north. Toward the national forest border. Federal land. Maybe I could flag down a ranger. Someone not connected to Keller. Someone I could trust. Hours passed. I moved slowly. Conserved energy. Drank from streams. Ate protein bars from my pack. Stayed hidden. Heard helicopters overhead. Search and rescue birds. Looking for me. I stayed under tree cover. Made myself invisible. By afternoon, I'd covered maybe 8 miles. Nowhere near far enough, but progress. I found a cave. Small opening half hidden by boulders. Crawled inside. It went back about 20 feet. Dry, sheltered. Good place to hide until dark. I'd move again after sunset. Harder for them to track me. I must have dozed off. Exhaustion taking over. I woke to voices outside the cave. Close. Whispering. Tracks lead here. Fresh. He's close. I pressed myself against the back wall. Drew my gun. Waited. Flashlight beam cut through the darkness. Swept across the cave interior. Found me. There. Don't move, Derek. It's over. Nick Carver's voice. He stepped into the cave. Weapon drawn. Aimed at me. Alone. I kept my gun pointed at him. I don't want to shoot you, Nick, but I will if I have to. He didn't lower his weapon. I don't want to shoot you either, but I've got orders. Wade's outside. So is Travis. You're surrounded. Give up. Make this easy. I shook my head. Can't do that. They're going to kill me. Cover it up. You know it. I saw the video, Nick. I know what they did. What you're helping them do. He hesitated. I didn't know. Not until last night. I swear. They told me we were just searching for you. That you'd stolen evidence from a crime scene. I didn't know about Justin Merrick. About the murder. I lowered my gun slightly. Then help me. Let me go. Get this evidence to the FBI. Do the right thing. He laughed, bitter. The right thing? The right thing gets me arrested as an accessory. Gets my career destroyed. Gets me killed, maybe. You think Keller's going to let me walk away? I understood his fear, but I couldn't let it stop me. You let them kill me, and you're a murderer too. Not an accessory. A murderer. Can you live with that? He lowered his weapon. Just an inch. Conflict written on his face. I don't have a choice. I stood slowly. Everyone has a choice, Nick. You can choose to be part of this, or you can choose to stop it. Before he could respond, Keller's voice came from outside. Nick, what's taking so long? You need backup? Nick looked at me, made a decision, raised his voice. He's not here. Cave's empty. Must have doubled back. Silence from outside. Then Keller. You sure? Nick. Yeah, I checked. Nothing. Footsteps moving away, voices fading. Nick looked at me. Go. Back of the cave. There's a crack in the rock. Leads to another chamber. Then to an exit on the north side. I used to play here as a kid. It's tight, but you'll fit. Go now. Before they come back. I stared at him. Why are you helping me? He holstered his weapon. Because you're right. Everyone has a choice. I'm making mine. Now go before I change my mind. I grabbed my backpack, squeezed through the crack. It was tight, barely wide enough for my shoulders, but I made it. Emerged in a larger chamber. Saw a light ahead. Another opening. I looked back. Nick was gone. I exited the north side of the cave. Found myself on a steep hillside. Above me was rocky terrain. Below was dense forest. I went down, moved quickly but carefully, made it to the tree line, kept going. Put distance between myself and the search team. By nightfall, I'd covered another 6 miles. I was deep in the national forest now. True wilderness, no roads, no trails, no people, perfect place to hide. But also perfect place to die if I wasn't careful. I needed food, water I could get from streams. But protein bars wouldn't last forever. I needed a plan. I couldn't run forever. Had to find a way to contact someone, get the evidence out. I climbed a ridge, highest point in the area, checked my phone, 1 bar, weak signal but there. I pulled up my brother's contact, sent a text, short, simple. In trouble. Evidence uploaded. If you don't hear from me in 12 hours, send everything to FBI and media. Don't trust local police. Don't call me back. Delete this message. Sent. Message delivered. My brother would see it. He'd follow through. I had 12 hours. Either I'd make it out or the evidence would go public anyway. Either way, Keller would be exposed. I just had to survive until then. I descended the ridge, found a sheltered spot under a rock overhang, made a cold camp, no fire, too visible. I ate the last protein bar, drank water, checked my gun, 12 rounds left, enough if it came to a fight, but I hoped it wouldn't. Morning came cold and gray. I woke stiff, shoulder still painful, probably separated, not dislocated. I'd been lucky. I packed up, continued north. Plan was simple. Reach the National Forest Ranger Station, 20 miles away. I could do 20 miles in 2 days if I pushed. Once there, I could contact federal authorities, get protection, get the evidence into the right hands. First 10 miles were brutal. Steep terrain, dense undergrowth, stream crossings. But I made progress. Stopped only to drink water and rest. Kept checking behind me. No signs of pursuit. Maybe they'd lost my trail. Maybe they'd given up. Or maybe they were waiting, setting a trap. I didn't know. Couldn't afford to assume safety. Mile 12, I heard it. Dogs, barking in the distance. They'd brought tracking dogs. I ran. Didn't matter about conserving energy anymore. They were on my trail. I had maybe an hour before they caught up. Less if the dogs were good. I splashed through streams, trying to break my scent trail. Didn't work. Dogs kept coming, closer. I could hear their handlers now, voices shouting directions. I reached a cliff face, 40 feet high, smooth rock. No way around. I'd have to climb. I'd done technical climbing before, part of search and rescue training. But that was with proper gear, ropes, harnesses, safety equipment. This was free solo. One mistake meant falling to my death. But the dogs were minutes away. No choice. I started climbing, found handholds, footholds, moved carefully, tested each grip before trusting my weight to it, 10 feet up, 20. My injured shoulder screamed, muscles trembling, 30 feet. Almost there, my hand slipped, loose rock. I caught myself with my other hand, hung on, pulled up, found new grip, kept climbing, reached the top, pulled myself over, collapsed, gasping. Below me, the dogs arrived, barking, jumping, can't climb. Handlers appeared, looked up, saw me. One of them was Lennox. He aimed his rifle. Nowhere left to run, Derek. I scrambled back from the edge. Bullet hit where I'd been lying. Rock exploding. I ran. They'd find a way up. Wouldn't take long. This wasn't over. I ran another mile. Legs like jelly, vision blurring, dehydration, exhaustion. Couldn't maintain this pace. Had to rest, had to hide. Found a dense thicket, crawled inside, covered myself with branches and leaves, made myself invisible, listened. Voices in the distance, getting closer. They were tracking me, following my path. I stayed perfectly still, controlled my breathing, tried to slow my heart rate. Footsteps nearby, multiple people, walking past my hiding spot, spread out, searching. One set of boots stopped 5 feet away. Keller's voice. He's close, I can feel it. Keep looking. Boot stepped closer. I could see it through gaps in the branches. Black tactical boot, department issue, another step, right next to the thicket. If he looked down, he'd see me. Radio crackled. Sheriff, we've got a situation in town. Multiple reporters showed up. Federal agents, FBI, asking about Justin Merrick, about a murder investigation. What do you want us to do? Silence. Keller processing. Then, fall back. Everyone, back to town, now. Footsteps retreating, moving away. I waited 20 minutes, made sure they were gone, then crawled out. My brother had come through. 12 hours must have passed. He'd sent the files. FBI was in Cedar Falls. This was ending. But I still needed to get out. Get to them before Keller could spin a story, could create a narrative. I checked my phone. 2 bars, better signal here. I called 911. Operator answered. 911, what's your emergency? I spoke quickly. My name is Derek Vaughn. I'm a search and rescue ranger. I'm in the National Forest north of Cedar Falls. I have evidence of a murder committed by Sheriff Wade Keller. I need immediate extraction. Federal authorities, not local police. Can you connect me to FBI? Operator's voice changed. Professional, alert. Hold, please. Click. Hold music. 30 seconds. A new voice. Male. Official. This is Special Agent Lawrence with the FBI. Mr. Vaughn, we've been looking for you. We received evidence this morning. Video files showing Sheriff Keller and others involved in what appears to be a homicide. Can you confirm you're the source of those files? Relief flooded through me. Yes, I found them. Camera belonging to Justin Merrick. He recorded everything. His murder, the conspiracy, everything. I've been running for 2 days. Keller's trying to kill me. Cover it up. Agent Lawrence. We're aware. We have teams en route to Cedar Falls now. Arrest warrants are being issued. Can you give me your exact location? We'll send a helicopter for extraction. I gave him my GPS coordinates. How long? He checked. 30 minutes. Stay where you are. Stay on the line. Help is coming. I sat down, back against a tree, gun in my lap, phone to my ear. 30 minutes. Just had to survive 30 more minutes. I heard the helicopter before I saw it, low rumble growing louder. It appeared over the ridge, black, official markings, FBI. It circled, found a clearing, landed. 2 agents jumped out, weapons drawn. Scanning the area, I walked toward them, hands visible. 1 agent approached. Derek Vaughn? I nodded. That's me. He lowered his weapon. Let's get you out of here. The helicopter lifted off, ascended above the forest. I watched the mountains fall away below. 2 days of hell, of running, of fear. Finally over. Agent Lawrence sat across from me. You did good, Derek. What you found, what you preserved, that took courage. We'll make sure Keller and everyone involved faces justice. I handed him the camera. Everything you need is on there. Murder, conspiracy, confession. All of it. He took it, secured it in an evidence bag. We'll analyze this, build the case. They're not getting away with this. I leaned back, closed my eyes, let exhaustion take over. We landed at a federal building in Spokane. I was taken to a secure interview room, debriefed for 6 hours, told them everything, from the initial search for Oliver to finding the camera to being hunted through the mountains. They recorded every word, took photos of my injuries, documented everything. Agent Lawrence sat across from me the whole time. When I finished, he sat back. Derek, you're a key witness now. We'll need you to testify. Grand jury, trial, everything. We can offer protective custody until this is resolved. I shook my head. I just want to go home. He frowned. Home isn't safe, not yet. Keller's been arrested, but there may be others involved. People we haven't identified. You're at risk. I understood, but I was done running, done hiding. I'll take my chances. They put me up in a hotel, federal protection outside my door. I slept for 14 hours straight, first real sleep in days. Woke to news coverage on TV, headlines everywhere. Sheriff arrested, murder caught on video, corruption exposed. Cedar Falls was front-page news. My phone had dozens of missed calls, messages, Park Service, media, friends. I ignored them all, called one number. St. Catherine's Hospital. Asked about Oliver. Brennan, nurse checked. He's stable, out of ICU. Would you like to speak with him? I would. They transferred me. Oliver's voice was weak but clear. Derek? I smiled. Yeah, it's me. How are you doing? He laughed. Painful sound. Been better, but alive. That's something. I heard what happened. You got the camera. You exposed them. I nodded, though he couldn't see. I did, because of you. You told me where to find it, told me the truth. I believed you. Silence. Then, thank you for believing me, for risking everything. Justin would have been forgotten. Another missing person. Now he gets justice. I cleared my throat, emotion rising. We both made it out. That's what matters. Oliver's voice changed. Serious. Did we, though? Make it out? I mean, physically, yeah. But what about the rest? The fear? The memories? Does that go away? I thought about that. About the nightmares I knew were coming. About the hypervigilance, the trust issues, the trauma. I don't know. Maybe not. But we survived. That's enough for now. Trial took 8 months to prepare. Keller, Lennox, Pritchard, all charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy, obstruction, abuse of power, dozen other charges. Evidence was overwhelming. Video, audio, testimony. Forensics team found Justin's body at the base of the North Face cliff, exactly where Oliver said it would be. 3 gunshot wounds to the chest. Ballistics matched Keller's service weapon. Defense tried everything, claimed the video was doctored, claimed Justin attacked them, claimed self-defense. Jury didn't buy it. Took them 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was harsh. Keller got life without parole. Lennox got 40 years. Pritchard got 35. Judge made a statement. These men betrayed their oaths, betrayed their community, murdered an innocent journalist who was trying to expose corruption. They hunted a witness through the mountains like an animal, abused their power at every turn. This sentence reflects the severity of their crimes and sends a message that no one is above the law. I sat in the courtroom, watched them led away in shackles, felt nothing, no satisfaction, no relief, just emptiness. Oliver sat next to me. He'd testified too, relived his trauma in front of the court. He looked at me. It's really over. I nodded. Yeah, it's over. But it wasn't. Not really. I tried to go back to work, back to search and rescue. Lasted 2 weeks. First call came in, missing hiker. I drove to the trailhead, got out of my truck, looked at the mountains, felt my chest tighten, couldn't breathe. Panic attack, full blown. I sat in my truck, hyperventilating, vision tunneling. Couldn't do it. Couldn't go back up there. The mountains weren't safe anymore, weren't sanctuary. They were where I'd been hunted, where I'd feared for my life, where everything changed. I drove home, called my supervisor, resigned effective immediately. He tried to talk me out of it, said I just needed time. More, counseling, different assignments. I told him no. I was done. 11 years, hundreds of rescues, saved dozens of lives. All of it ended because I found one hiker, found Oliver Brennan, found the truth, found something I couldn't come back from. I sold my cabin, couldn't stay in Cedar Falls. Too many memories, too many looks from people in town, some grateful, some resentful. Families of the arrested deputies blamed me, harassed me, threatened me. I moved to Portland, urban environment, no mountains, no forests. Got a job doing something completely different. IT support, desk job, mundane, safe, everything I'd never wanted. But it was all I could handle. Therapy helped some, PTSD diagnosis. Officially, not a surprise. Therapist said I'd experienced multiple traumas, life-threatening pursuit, betrayal by authority figures, moral injury from watching corruption go unpunished until I forced it to light. Said recovery would take years, might never be complete. I'd have to learn to live with it, manage it, find new purpose. I tried. Went to support groups, connected with other people who'd experienced trauma. Some helped, some didn't. Progress was slow, non-linear, good days and bad days, months where I felt almost normal, weeks where I couldn't get out of bed. Oliver and I stayed in touch. He struggled too, changed careers, couldn't go back to outdoor journalism, too triggering. Worked from home now, writing about other things, safe things. We met for coffee every few months, talked about recovery, about moving forward, about the cost of doing the right thing. 1 year after the trial, I received a letter from Nick Carver. He'd resigned from the sheriff's department, couldn't stay after everything. Letter was an apology for hunting me, for almost killing me, for not standing up sooner. He said he thought about that moment in the cave every day, the choice he'd made. Said it was the only good decision he'd made during the whole ordeal. Said he hoped I could forgive him someday. I wrote back, told him I already had, that his choice saved my life, saved the case, that without him I might not have made it out, that he'd done the right thing when it mattered most. We became friends after that. Unlikely friendship, but real. 2 years after the trial, I received another call, different than the one that started everything. This time, it was the Park Service. They wanted to give me an award, commendation for bravery, for integrity, for risking my life to expose corruption and bring killers to justice. I didn't want it, didn't want recognition, didn't want to relive it. But Oliver convinced me to accept, said it mattered, said it honored Justin's memory. So I went. Small ceremony, Park Service headquarters. Director gave a speech, talked about courage and sacrifice, handed me a plaque, shook my hand. Media was there, took photos, asked questions. I gave short answers, deflected credit, said I just did what anyone should do, Told the truth. Protected. Evidence. Survived. Nothing heroic about it. But people treated it like heroism anyway. Like I was some kind of symbol. Inspiration. I wasn't. I was just a guy who found a hiker and refused to look away from what he discovered. A guy who paid the price for that choice and would keep paying it for the rest of his life. After the ceremony, I drove back to Portland, back to my apartment, back to my quiet, safe, boring life. Looked at the plaque, read the words, in recognition of extraordinary courage and unwavering commitment to justice. Felt hollow, empty. This wasn't what I wanted. Awards, recognition. I wanted my old life back, my career, my peace, my ability to look at mountains without feeling sick. 3 years after the trial, I went hiking. First time since everything happened. Small trail, urban park, nothing serious. Just wanted to see if I could. Made it half a mile before I had to turn back. Heart racing, hands shaking. Every shadow looked like Keller. Every distant voice sounded like Lennox. Couldn't do it. Went home. Felt defeated. My therapist said it was progress, though. Said I'd attempted it. Faced the fear even briefly. Said that mattered. Maybe it did. I didn't feel it. 4 years after the trial, Oliver published a book. About Justin, about the case, about corruption and courage and the cost of truth. Dedicated it to everyone who'd suffered, everyone who'd fought, everyone who'd survived. He sent me an advance copy, asked me to read it, give feedback. I tried. Got through 3 chapters before I had to stop. Too real, too close. Brought everything back. I called him, apologized. Said I couldn't finish it. He understood. Said he'd written it for everyone else. For people who needed to know these stories. For people who needed to know that fighting back was possible even when the system was broken. Even when the cost was high. The book became a bestseller. Oliver did interviews, podcasts, speaking engagements. Became a voice for investigative journalism. For whistleblowers. For survivors of institutional corruption. I was proud of him. Proud he'd taken his trauma and turned it into something meaningful. I couldn't do that. My trauma just lived inside me. Quiet, persistent, unchanging. 5 years after the trial, I stood on my apartment balcony, looked west toward the mountains, could see them in the distance, snow-covered peaks, beautiful, distant, untouchable. I'd spent 11 years in those mountains, knew every trail, every ridge, every valley, saved dozens of lives there, found hundreds of lost people, brought them home safe. That was my purpose, my calling, my identity. All gone now, taken by one case, one hiker, one choice to do the right thing. People told me I'd done something important, something necessary, that exposing Keller had saved future victims, that Justin's story deserved to be told, that my courage mattered. Maybe it did, but it didn't change what I'd lost. Didn't give me back my career, my peace, my ability to look at mountains and feel joy instead of fear. The cost of truth is high. The cost of courage is higher. And the cost of surviving when others wanted you dead is highest of all. Not the physical survival. That's just luck and skill and good timing. The real cost is living afterward. Living with the memories, the nightmares, the knowledge of what people are capable of, what systems will do to protect themselves, what you'll lose by refusing to look away. I live with it every day. Get up, go to work, come home, repeat. Functional, surviving, not thriving, not who I was, never will be again. Mountains used to mean freedom, adventure, purpose. Now they mean betrayal, violence, loss. I quit them forever, not by choice, by necessity, by survival instinct that won't let me go back, by trauma that rewired my brain and changed who I am at a fundamental level. I'm a search and rescue ranger who can't rescue anyone anymore. Can't search, can't face the mountains, can't do the job I loved. I found that hiker, found Oliver Brennan, found the truth, found justice for Justin Merrick, and lost myself in the process. That's the trade. That's the cost. That's what happens when you choose truth over safety, justice over silence, right over easy. You win. But you lose everything winning cost you. 5 years later, I still don't know if it was worth it. Ask me on good days, and I'll say yes. Justice matters. Truth matters. Stopping killers matters. Ask me on bad days, and I'll say I wish I'd never answered that call. Never found Oliver. Never learned what Keller did. Wish I'd stayed ignorant and kept my life intact. But I did answer. Did find him, did learn, did fight, did survive, and now I live with it. Every day. Forever changed. Forever marked by those mountains I can't return to. If you enjoyed this, you'll definitely want to see the next ones too. So, subscribe now and let me know your take in the comments.